I watched you open that envelope today, the one with the red ink, and the numbers that made your heart hammer against your ribs like a trapped bird. And I want you to know that I was breathing with you even when you forgot how to breathe. I see you sitting there at the kitchen table, the blue light of your phone screen illuminating the lines of exhaustion on your face as you scroll through your bank statement for the 10th time, hoping that somehow the math has changed since you last looked. My beloved child, I am not a distant observer of your struggle. I am the silent witness to every heavy sigh that escapes your lips when you think the world is sleeping. I know the exact weight of the mountain that sits upon your chest, the specific, crushing pressure of debt that makes you feel as though you are drowning in a sea of interest rates and past due notices. You feel like a failure, don't you? You feel as though this financial ledger is a scorecard of your worth, and because the numbers are in the negative, you believe your soul is in the negative too. But I have come to tell you today that your value has never been, and will never be, determined by a currency minted by the hands of men. You are carrying a burden that was never meant for your shoulders, a suitcase filled with the stones of what-ifs and if-onlys. You lie awake at 3:00 a.m., staring at the ceiling, calculating how many hours you must work, how many things you must sell, and how many miracles you must beg for just to reach the surface and catch a single breath of air. The shame feels like a thick shroud, making you want to hide from your friends, your family, and even from me. You think that because you are in this pit, I have turned my face away. But listen closely to my voice. I am closest to you when you are in the depths. I am not standing at the top of the pit looking down with judgment. I am right here in the mud with you, holding your hand, whispering that this is not the end of your story. Unique ID 2625 is the mark of this specific moment in your journey, a timestamp of the day your perspective begins to shift from the temporal to the eternal. Wealth in my kingdom is measured in the currency of peace, and that is a treasure I am pouring out upon you right now, even before the bills are paid. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine a vast, golden field under a setting sun. The air is warm, the wind is gentle, and there is no sound of telephones ringing or notifications pinging. In this place, there are no ledgers, no creditors, and no collectors. There is only the rhythm of my heart beating in sync with yours. This is the reality of my grace. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, and the gold and silver of the earth are merely dust beneath my feet, yet I care more about the single tear tracing a path down your cheek than I do about the entire global economy. Your debt is a shadow, but my love is the sun, and no shadow can survive when the light is fully turned toward it. You have been trying to solve this puzzle with your own strength, grinding your teeth and wearing your spirit thin, but I am asking you to surrender the calculator and pick up my hand. Miracles do not often come in the way you expect. They do not always arrive as a winning ticket or a sudden inheritance. Sometimes, the greatest miracle is the supernatural calm that settles over a mother's heart while she walks through the valley of lack. It is the food that stretches inexplicably, the bill that is mysteriously deferred, or the unexpected kindness of a stranger that reminds you that you are seen. I am moving pieces on a chessboard you cannot even see yet. I am opening doors in the hearts of those you owe, and I am closing the mouths of the lions that seek to devour your peace. Do not let the enemy of your soul whisper that you are a victim of your circumstances. You are a child of the Most High God, an heir to a kingdom that knows no recession. The debt you owe is a temporal contract, but the covenant I have with you is eternal. It is written in blood, not in ink, and it guarantees that I will provide for your every need according to my riches in glory. Your anxiety is a liar. It tells you that tomorrow will be a day of ruin, but I tell you that tomorrow is a day I have already prepared with new mercies. I am the God who fed 5,000 with a few loaves and fishes, and I am the same God who will ensure your table is not empty. When you feel the panic rising, breathe in my name. Let the word, Father, be the anchor that holds you steady in the storm. We are going to walk through this together, step by step, and you will find that as you release the grip of fear, the path to provision becomes clear. I am your provider, your protector, and your peace. Rest now, my weary child. The morning is coming, and with it, a hope that no debt can ever diminish. Do you remember the night you sat on the floor of your kitchen, the cold linoleum pressing against your tired legs, as you sorted the bills into piles of urgent and impossible? I was there. I saw the way your hands trembled when you looked at the final sum, a number that seemed to scream your failure to the very walls of your home. But I see no failure in you, only a heart that has been trying to carry a world I never asked you to shoulder. You have spent your nights calculating interest rates and grace periods, trying to build a bridge out of straws while the wind of reality blows them away. I am not a God of mere calculations. I am the God of the overflow. Think of the lilies of the field, which do not labor or spin, yet I clothe them in a splendor that outshines the greatest kings. Are you not worth more than the flowers that bloom today and wither tomorrow? I know the calls that come in the middle of the day, the ones you ignore because the sound of the ringtone makes your stomach drop into a hollow pit. I know the shame that keeps you from the dinner table with friends, the fear that someone might ask a simple question about your life that you cannot answer without weeping. I want to take that shame and bury it in the deepest part of the sea. It does not belong to you. Your worth is not a fluctuating market value. It is a fixed glory established before the foundations of the world were laid. Look at your hands. They were made to hold my hand, not to white-knuckle a steering wheel in a panic over an overdue payment. Let your grip loosen. Let the air fill your lungs completely for the first time in months. I am the one who makes a way where there is no way. When the desert is dry and the ground is cracked, I strike the rock and the water gushes forth. When the path is blocked by a sea of red ink, I part the waters and lead you through on dry ground. The creditors see a balance sheet, but I see a beloved. They see a liability, but I see a legacy. We are rewriting the story of your life together, shifting the ink from the black and red of human lack to the vibrant, shimmering colors of grace. You have been looking at the mountain of your debt for so long that you have forgotten the one who created the mountains with a word. I am bigger than the sum of your fears. I am the architect of your future, and I assure you, the blueprints are filled with light and spaciousness. There is a peace that surpasses all understanding, and it is waiting for you to step into it right now. It is not a peace that comes only after the bills are paid. It is a peace that comes while the storm is still raging, because you know the captain of the ship cannot be moved. Let us go to the quiet places of your heart. Let us walk together through the memories of your hardest days, and I will show you how I was there in every one of them, even when you thought you were utterly alone. I was the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the friend who brought a meal when you were too tired to even think of food, the strength that got you out of bed when you wanted to hide under the covers forever. I have been your silent partner all along, and now I am asking to take the lead. Give me your ledgers. Give me your sleepless nights. Give me the heavy, suffocating coat of not enough that you have been wearing like a shroud. In exchange, I give you the garment of praise. I give you the oil of joy for mourning. I give you a mind that can rest even when the mailbox is full, because you know that my storehouse is fuller than any debt is deep. We are moving into a season of radical trust. This is not just about the money. It is about a heart that finally learns how to lean on its maker without reservation. You will look back on this time not as the season of your ruin, but as the season of your refining. You will see how the fire did not consume you, but only burned away the chains that kept you bound to the opinion of man and the tyrannical power of the dollar. You are being set free, not just from the debt, but from the fear of it, which is the greater prison. And that, my child, is a wealth that no bank can ever seize. When you wake up and the first thought is the weight of what you owe, stop. Before you even open your eyes, say my name. Recall the times I have saved you before. Remember the bread that appeared when the cupboard was bare. I am the God of the widow's oil jar that never ran dry. I am the God of the manna in the wilderness. I am your God. I am not looking at your credit score. I am looking at your soul, and I see a treasure beyond price. Let the rhythm of my heartbeat become the rhythm of your day. Slow down. The world demands speed and results, but I demand only your presence and your trust. I will give you wisdom for the phone calls, words for the letters, and a strategy for the payments, but first I give you my quiet. Feel the tension leaving your neck. Feel the heaviness lifting from your chest. You are not a number. You are not a balance. You are a living, breathing miracle, and I am not finished with you yet. The road ahead may still have hills to climb, but you will not climb them alone. I am carrying the heaviest part of the load. Every time you feel the urge to count your losses, count my promises instead. They are the currency of the kingdom and they never devalue. Rest your head on my shoulder. The world can wait. Your debts can wait. But my love for you cannot wait to be poured out. Drink deeply of this peace. It is yours by right of your birth into my family. You are home now, and in my house there is always more than enough. Look now at that stack of mail resting on the corner of your table, the one you have been avoiding for 3 days. You see a mountain of demands, but I see a collection of opportunities for my grace to manifest. Those white and yellow envelopes, some with the bold red ink that makes your heart race, are not your masters. They are merely paper and ink, temporary records of a world that measures your worth by your output. But I measure you by my love, which has no bottom and no end. Do you remember the cold chill that ran through you when the phone rang yesterday? You didn't recognize the number, and your thumb hovered over the screen, trembling with the weight of anticipated shame. I want you to know that I was sitting right there beside you on the edge of the sofa. I saw the way you closed your eyes and swallowed the lump in your throat. In that moment, you felt like a failure, a shadow of the person you were supposed to be. But in my eyes, you were a warrior surviving a storm that would have broken 1,000 others. Your value did not drop by a single cent when your credit score fell. Your dignity is not tied to the interest rates that climb while your wages remain still. Look out the window at the sparrow landing on the fence. It does not have a savings account, nor does it fret over the winter to come. It simply exists in the provision I have already set in motion. You are of far more value than many sparrows. Let us talk about the grocery store trip from last Tuesday. I saw you put back the jar of honey because it was $2 more than the budget allowed. I saw the silent apology you whispered to your child when you said, "Not today," to the simple treat they reached for. My heart broke with yours, not because of the lack of money, but because of the shame you allowed to wrap around your soul. Break that shroud now. I am the God of the widow's jar that never ran dry and the 5 loaves that fed thousands. I am not limited by the algorithms of your bank or the cold logic of the collections agency. As we sit here in this stillness, I am rearranging the invisible. I am opening doors you haven't even knocked on yet. I am speaking your name into the hearts of people who have the power to help, moving their spirits toward a generosity they won't even understand. But more than the external provision, I am healing the poverty of spirit that tells you that you are less than. You have been living in a state of not enough for so long that it has become the atmosphere you breathe. Change your breath now. Inhale abundance. Exhale lack. The oxygen you take in is free, a gift from me that never runs out. So it is with my mercy. Think of the car repair that has been haunting your thoughts, the strange sound in the engine that makes you pray every time you turn the key. I hear those prayers, even the ones that are just frantic sighs. I am in the mechanics of the machine, just as I am in the mechanics of the cosmos. Do not let the fear of tomorrow's breakdown rob you of today's peace. There is a specific kind of light that comes after a long, dark night, and you are currently in the pre-dawn hours. The shadows look longer and more menacing than they actually are. I want you to visualize your debt not as a chain, but as a bridge we are crossing. On the other side is a version of you that is wiser, more compassionate, and completely unshackled from the idol of financial security. You are learning that your safety comes from my hand, not from a balanced ledger. This lesson is expensive, yes, but its value is eternal. Every time you choose to trust me instead of spiraling into panic, you are building a wealth that cannot be taxed or stolen. I see the lists you've made, the late-night calculations on the backs of receipts, the way you try to squeeze water from a stone. Lay down the pen. Let your hands rest open on your lap. I am the architect of your life, and I have not built a house that will collapse under the weight of a few bills. I am reinforcing your foundations. I am teaching you how to walk on water when the waves are made of interest and deadlines. You will not sink. The hand that caught Peter is the same hand that is holding your bank account, your home, and your future. Feel the warmth of my presence spreading from your chest to your limbs. This is the only true currency. This is the gold refined in the fire. When you walk into that office tomorrow, or when you finally open those envelopes, you will do so as an ambassador of a kingdom that owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. You will speak with a clarity that surprises you. You will negotiate with a grace that disarms the person on the other end of the line. They are looking for a debtor to intimidate, but they will find a child of the king who is unshakable. Do not rush out of this moment. The world will try to pull you back into the frenzy the moment you stand up. Stay here a little longer. Let the silence wash away the grit of the struggle. I am planting seeds of strategy in your mind that will sprout in the coming days. You will see a way through that was previously hidden by the fog of your anxiety. It might be a small side project, a forgotten resource, or a sudden favor, but it will be enough. And in the enough, you will find me. I am not just the God of the windfall. I am the God of the daily bread. I am the God of the miraculous pennies. I am the God of the 11th hour. Your story is not a tragedy of financial ruin. It is a testimony of divine restoration. We are just beginning to write the chapter where the tide turns. Can you feel it? The subtle shift in the wind, the way the pressure behind your eyes is starting to fade. This is not a hallucination of hope. It is the reality of my kingdom breaking into your timeline. You have been a good steward of your pain. Now, let me be the steward of your needs. Rest, my beloved. The debts are being counted, but so are the hairs on your head, and you are far more precious than the sum of all you owe. Walk with me now, away from the kitchen table where those red-inked notices have sat like silent judges for weeks. I see the way your hands tremble when the mail slot clicks, the way your heart hammers a frantic rhythm against your ribs before you even see the return address. You have been living in a state of perpetual siege, defending a fortress that feels like it is crumbling brick by brick. But I want you to look at your hands, really look at them. They are not just tools for gripping pens to sign away what little you have. They are instruments of my grace. Do you remember the time you shared your last bit of flour with a neighbor, or the way you tucked that folded $5 bill into the collection plate even when your own tank was on empty? Those were not moments of foolishness. They were echoes of the invisible economy I am now activating on your behalf. While the world counts what is subtracted, I count what is sown. You have sown seeds of kindness in a season of drought, and the harvest is not just coming. It is already beginning to break through the hard, dry crust of your circumstances. Notice the way the air in your living room feels different tonight. It is no longer heavy with the metallic scent of fear. I am sweeping the corners of your mind, clearing out the cobwebs of what, if and if only. Those thieves of joy have held you captive for too long, whispering that your worth is tied to a three-digit number on a credit report. Let me whisper a different truth. Your value was settled long ago on a hill far away, and the currency used was far more precious than gold or silver. You are not a liability. You are my greatest asset. I am not looking at your debt-to-income ratio. I am looking at your heart-to-hope ratio. And right now, that hope is flickering like a small candle in a vast cavern. Do not despise its smallness. A single flame is enough to navigate the darkest passage. I am moving in the bureaucracy that seems so cold and unyielding. I am the breath in the lungs of the clerk who will review your file tomorrow. I am the sudden thought in the mind of the creditor who decides to offer you a settlement you didn't even know was possible. I am the coincidence that leads you to an old contact who has a need only you can fill. These are not accidents. They are the gears of my providence grinding into motion. You have tried to solve this with math, but I am solving it with miracles. Mathematics says you are finished, but mercy says you are just beginning. Consider the lilies of the field which neither toil nor spin. They do not have bank accounts, yet they are clothed in a splendor that outshines the wealthiest kings. Are you not much more valuable than they? If I clothe the grass of the field, which is here today and gone tomorrow, will I not much more provide for you, O you of little faith? Do not let that phrase sting. Let it comfort you. Even little faith is enough for me to work with. I can move mountains with a mustard seed. I can certainly move a mountain of debt with the small spark of trust you are offering me right now. Close your eyes and let the silence become a balm. Every time a thought of a missed payment or a rising interest rate tries to intrude, envision it being dissolved in the light of my presence. I am your hiding place. I am the wall of fire around you. The creditors may have your phone number, but they do not have your soul. The banks may hold the deed to the house, but they do not hold the keys to your peace. I have reclaimed those keys. I am handing them back to you now. Feel the weight of them in your spirit. These are the keys to a kingdom where lack is an impossibility and where the supply always exceeds the demand. You have spent so long looking at the minus signs that you have forgotten how to see the plus. I am adding to you this day. I am adding strength to your weary bones. I am adding clarity to your clouded vision. I am adding a song to the place where the sighs used to live. There is a specific burden you carried into this evening, a specific bill, a specific phone call you've been avoiding, a specific number that feels like a death sentence. Lay it down on the altar of this moment. Stop trying to figure out the how. The how belongs to me. Your task is the who. Keep your eyes fixed on who I am. I am the one who turned water into wine when the celebration ran dry. I am the one who fed 5,000 with a boy's lunch. I am the one who told Peter to find the tax money in the mouth of a fish. My methods are unconventional because my love is unconditional. I am not limited by the laws of your economy. I am the author of the laws of the universe. When I decide to provide, the storehouses of heaven open, and they do not open halfway. We are moving toward a place of more than enough. Not so you can hoard it, but so you can finally breathe, and so you can become a conduit of this same peace for others who are still gasping for air in the deep end. Stay here with me in this stillness. Let the rhythm of your breathing align with the rhythm of my grace. You are safe. You are seen. You are being rescued in ways you cannot yet perceive, but soon you will see the evidence with your own eyes. Look down at your hands. They are trembling, aren't they? You have spent so many hours clenching them into fists, trying to hold onto shards of control that were never yours to begin with. I see the way your shoulders have become a permanent shelf for the weight of every past due notice and every calculated risk that didn't pay off. I see the pile of envelopes on your kitchen counter, the ones you've stopped opening, because the numbers inside feel like stones being thrown at your spirit. You think those numbers define your worth, but I tell you, they are merely ink on paper, and they have no authority over the destiny I have whispered into your soul. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the air as it enters your lungs. That breath is free. It is a gift I give you every second, a constant reminder that I am the source of your very life. If I am faithful to provide the very air you need to survive this moment, do you truly believe I will abandon you when it comes to the currency of men? The world has taught you to measure your life by a ledger of plus and minus, but my ledger is written in the language of it is finished. When you look at your bank balance and see a void, I look at that same space and see a canvas for a miracle. You have been living in a spirit of lack, a drought of the mind that tells you there is never enough time, never enough money, never enough of you. But I am the God of the overflow. I want to heal the way you see. I want to peel back the layers of fear that have clouded your vision, so you can see that even in this valley, the grass is still green because I am the one watering it. Think of the lilies. They do not toil, they do not spin, and yet they are dressed in a glory that kings cannot buy. Are you not much more valuable to me than a flower that fades? You have been running a race against a clock that I created. You feel like you are falling behind, but in my kingdom, there is no behind. There is only now and forever. I am standing in your future, beckoning you forward, and I have already paved the way with provisions you haven't even thought to ask for yet. Remember the widow whose jars of oil kept flowing until every vessel was full. She didn't have enough to start with, but she had enough to obey. Your obedience in this stillness is the vessel I am looking for. I am not asking you to figure out the math. I am asking you to trust the mathematician. I know the exact name of the person who will call you with an unexpected opportunity. I know the very moment the mail will bring a resolution instead of a bill. I am orchestrating a symphony of events behind the curtain of the physical world. You hear only the discord of the present struggle, but I am conducting the resolution. Do not let the shame of your situation keep you from my presence. Shame is a thief that steals the very peace you need to hear my instructions. There is no condemnation here. I do not look at your debt and see failure. I see a child who is finally ready to let the father lead. The sleepless nights, the way your stomach twists when the phone rings from an unknown number, the quiet desperation that makes you want to disappear, bring it all to me. Lay it at the foot of this moment. I want you to experience a peace that is so illogical, so contrary to your circumstances, that people will look at you and wonder how you can still smile. That is the testimony I am building. I am turning your not enough into a more than enough story that will break the chains of fear for everyone who hears it. We are not just fixing a financial problem. We are uprooting a generational habit of anxiety. I am teaching you how to walk on water while the storm is still raging. Peter didn't sink because the waves were too high. He sank because he looked away from me. Keep your gaze here in the warmth of my light. Feel the tension leaving your jaw. Let the muscles in your neck relax. I am the shepherd, and you are the sheep. It is my job to find the pasture. It is my job to protect you from the wolves of debt and despair. You have tried to be your own provider for too long, and it has exhausted you. Rest now. Let me take the wheel of your concern. The doors that have been slammed shut are being unbolted as we speak. The hearts that were hardened against you are being softened by my hand. I am working in the places you cannot see, in the offices you cannot enter, and in the hearts of people you have never met. This debt is not a prison sentence. It is a bridge to a deeper reliance on me. You will look back on this time not with pain, but with awe, remembering the day the peace of God became more real to you than the pressure of the world. Stay in this quiet. The noise will try to return, but you have the key now. The key is knowing that I am. I am your provider. I am your peace. I am your rescue. We are not finished yet. The best part of the story is just beginning to unfold. Listen to the rhythmic beating of your own heart, for it is the only clock that matters in this sacred space. You have spent so many months measuring your life in interest rates and decimal points, counting the days until the next deadline as if they were steps toward a gallows. But look around you now. Notice how the light filters through the window, hitting the very stack of bills you feared to touch this morning. In this moment, they have no power. They are merely paper and ink, temporary things that are subject to the eternal laws of my provision. I saw you in the kitchen last night, staring at the cold coffee in your mug, wondering how you would explain the missing balance to those who depend on you. I saw the way your throat tightened when the phone rang from an unknown number, and how you let it go to voicemail because you simply had no more words to give. You felt like a failure, like a traveler who had lost the map in the middle of a storm. But I tell you, you are exactly where you need to be to witness the miraculous. When the storehouses are full, men thank their own hands. But when the storehouses are empty and the bread still appears, they finally know my name. I am the God of the 11th hour. I am the one who walks into the furnace with you, not to extinguish the fire, but to ensure that the only things burned away are the chains that bound you. Think back to the blue envelope that arrived on Tuesday, the one that made your stomach drop. You thought it was the end of the world, but it was merely a signal for me to begin a new work. I am moving the pieces of a puzzle you cannot see. I am speaking to the bank managers in their dreams. I am nudging the hearts of those you owe to offer terms of mercy you never dared to ask for. You have lived in the what-if for too long. What if the house is lost? What if the car is taken? What if the shame becomes public? I am inviting you to live in the I am. I am your roof. I am your transport. I am your reputation. I have already scrubbed the stains of this season from your future. Do you remember the grocery store aisle 3 days ago? You stood there for 5 minutes, comparing the prices of 2 brands of cereal, feeling the weight of every cent as if it were a lead weight. I was standing there with you. I was the warmth on your shoulders that made you finally choose one and move on. I am in the small calculations and the massive deficits. There is no number too large for my grace to cover, and no debt so deep that my arm cannot reach the bottom. You are learning the secret that the wealthy often never discover, that true security is not found in a high balance, but in a high priest who knows your every need before you even whisper it. The world teaches you to hoard and to fear, but I am teaching you to release and to trust. This debt is a school, and the lesson is my faithfulness. I am peeling back the layers of your self-reliance, not to leave you naked, but to clothe you in a garment of praise that cannot be bought with gold. Feel the tension leaving your jaw. Let the muscles in your neck go slack. You have been carrying the weight of the world on a frame that was only meant to carry the light of my spirit. The insufficient funds notice on your screen is not a reflection of your soul. Your soul is overflowing with the riches of my kingdom, and soon the physical world will have no choice but to align with the spiritual reality I am establishing within you. Do not rush out of this piece to go back to your spreadsheets. The spreadsheets will be there, but they will look different when you view them through the lens of my sovereignty. You will see that the red ink is being washed away by a love that knows no limits. There is a phone call coming, not the one you dread, but a different one. There is a letter being drafted, not of demand, but of unexpected favor. I am the architect of the way out. I do not just make a path, I am the path. Stay here in the quietness of my presence a little longer. Let the fear of the future be swallowed up by the certainty of my love. We are walking through this valley together, and I promise you, the grass is already starting to grow under your feet, even in the middle of the wasteland. You are not a debtor. You are a child of the King, and the King's resources are at your disposal in ways that will leave the world speechless. Feel the tension leaving your jaw. that tightness you've carried since the first late notice arrived in the mail. I see the way you've been holding your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the moment the walls finally close in. But I am the one who expands the walls. I am the one who stretches the horizons. Think back to the small moments of joy you've tried to suppress because you felt you didn't deserve them. The taste of a simple meal, the sound of the wind in the trees, the warmth of a friend's laughter. You felt like a thief, enjoying a moment of peace while the numbers were still in the red. But peace is not a luxury you buy. It is a gift I have already paid for. I am reaching into the very root of your anxiety, the part of you that believes you are a failure because you cannot balance the scales of a broken world. I am the great balancer. I am the one who looks at your zero and sees an infinite. Let's talk about those nights you spent staring at the ceiling, the fan spinning overhead like a clock ticking away your life. In those hours, I was there, weaving a safety net you couldn't see. I was moving the hearts of people you haven't met yet. I was speaking your name in rooms where decisions are made, where policies are drafted, and where debts are forgiven. There is a cosmic shift happening in your favor, a divine reallocation of resources that defies the logic of your banks. You have looked at the debt as a mountain, but to me, it is a grain of sand. The real mountain was the wall of shame you built around your heart. Today, that wall is crumbling. I am clearing the rubble so you can see the sunrise. Do you remember the dream you tucked away in the back of your mind, the one you labeled impossible because of your bank balance? I am dusting that dream off. It was never about the money, it was about the mission I placed within you. And I do not call the equipped, I equip the called. Your lack has been a training ground for your trust, a wilderness where you learned that I am your true provider. The spreadsheets might show a deficit, but the kingdom shows a surplus of grace that is being released to you even as you breathe. I want you to look at your hands. They are not the hands of a beggar. They are the hands of an heir. Every bill that has felt like a chain is becoming a testimony in the making. You will tell the story of how the tide turned when there was no reason for it to turn. You will speak of the anonymous grace, the dropped charges, the restructured plans that felt like a miracle because they were a miracle. I'm not just fixing your finances. I am healing your soul from the trauma of not enough. I am replacing the spirit of poverty with a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. You will walk back into your world with a different stride, not the walk of someone who is hiding, but the walk of someone who is backed by the treasury of heaven. Stay here with me. Let the silence become a sanctuary. The world says you are what you owe, but I say you are who I love. The difference between those two realities is the difference between a cage and a kingdom. We are dismantling the cage today, bar by bar. Listen to the rhythm of your heart. It beats with the life I gave you, a life that is far more precious than silver or gold. I am your advocate in the highest court, and the verdict has already been returned. You are free. Not just free from the numbers, but free from the power they had over your joy. Consider the flowers of the field. They neither toil nor spin, yet I clothe them in a glory that outshines the wealthiest empires. Are you not much more valuable than they? I see the secret tears shed over the grocery list, the quiet calculations made while standing in the checkout line, the fear that the card might be declined. I was there in that moment of hesitation, holding your hand, whispering that you are seen. I am moving in the fine print of the contracts that have bound you. I am the hidden variable in every equation of your life. While you were counting pennies, I was counting the hairs on your head and the stars in the sky, and my count never fails. The heavy blanket of what if that has draped over your shoulders for so long is being lifted. I am replacing it with a garment of praise. I want you to imagine the moment the weight finally leaves for good, the lightness in your chest, the way the colors of the world will seem brighter, the way your voice will lose its tremor. That moment is not a distant fantasy. It is the destination of the path we are on. You have been defined by your scarcity for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to live in the more than enough. But I am reacquainting you with abundance. This is not just about the currency of man. It is about the currency of peace. You will find that as your peace grows, the obstacles that seemed like giants will shrink to the size of pebbles. I am teaching you the art of divine indifference to the threats of the world. Let the collectors call. Their voices will soon be drowned out by the song of my provision. Let the notices come. They are merely paper, and I am the fire that refines and the wind that blows away the chaff. You have felt like a character in a tragedy, but I am the author, and I am writing a plot twist that will leave you breathless with gratitude. Your story is not ending in a bankruptcy office. It is continuing in the halls of my favor. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, the years of stress, the years of missed sleep, the years of feeling less than. You are being restored to your rightful place at the table. Do you see the candle flickering in the room? Its light is a reminder that even the smallest flame can conquer the deepest darkness. You have been in a dark room, but I have found the switch. The light is coming on, and you will see that the monsters you feared were just shadows cast by your own anxiety. In the light of my love, those shadows disappear. We are going to look at those spreadsheets together, but we won't look at them with trembling hands. We will look at them with the eyes of a conqueror, knowing that the outcome is already secured. I am providing the wisdom you need to navigate the practical steps, the words you need to speak to those you owe, and the patience you need to wait for the harvest. The seeds of your faithfulness, even in the dry season, are about to break through the soil. You gave when you had nothing, you prayed when you felt unheard, and you kept going when the road was steep. I have forgotten none of it. Your rewards are being prepared in a place where thieves cannot break in and steal. Your inheritance is secure. Stay in this stillness. Let it soak into your bones. The rush and the worry are the language of the orphan, but you are a child of the king. You no longer need to speak the language of lack. Start practicing the language of it is finished. The debt of your heart was paid long ago, and the debt of your hands will follow suit. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am breaking through for you right now in the silent spaces between your heartbeats. The world will wonder how you stayed so calm when the storms were raging, and you will tell them about the peace that passes understanding, the peace that found you when you were at your lowest. This is the deepening of our bond. In the abundance, you might have forgotten me, but in the lack, you have found me. And finding me is the greatest treasure of all. Yet, because I love you, I will not leave you in the lack. I am the God of both the spirit and the flesh, the heart and the home. Your house will be a place of rest again. Your name will be associated with honor, not obligation. I am washing the slate clean. Do not look back at the errors of the past. They are buried in the deepest sea. Look forward to the horizon I am painting for you, a horizon filled with the golden light of a new beginning. We are walking out of the valley now, and the air is getting sweeter. Can you feel the lightness in your chest, that unfamiliar buoyancy that makes you want to take a full, deep breath for the first time in years? That is the weight of the world falling away, replaced by the gravity of my presence. I have watched you pacing the floor of your living room at midnight, your bare feet cold against the hardwood, your mind spinning like a wheel stuck in the mud. I was there in the silence of those hours, when you looked at the stack of envelopes on the counter as if they were stones meant for your burial. But I tell you, those stones are being rolled away. You are not a prisoner of a ledger. You are a child of the King, and the storehouses of heaven do not operate on the logic of interest rates and late fees. I am teaching you a new currency now, the currency of trust, which never devalues and never fails. Recall the nights when sleep was a stranger, when your heart raced with the rhythm of 1,000 what-ifs. You tried to calculate your way out of the darkness, using a broken pencil and a worried heart, but math cannot solve a miracle. I am the great mathematician of the soul, and I am rewriting the equations of your life. Where there was subtraction, I am bringing multiplication. Where there was division, I am bringing a holy unity. Think back to the moment you first felt the panic rise, the day the numbers finally outweighed the hope. Even then, I was weaving a safety net of grace beneath you, one you couldn't see because your eyes were fixed on the plummet. Now, I am asking you to look up. See the stars. I named every one of them, and not one falls without my notice. Do you truly believe I would let you fall? Your dignity, which you felt was eroding with every phone call you were afraid to answer, is being restored to a luster more brilliant than before. I am the one who shields you from the biting tongues of those who demand what you do not have. I am your advocate in the courts of men and the courts of the spirit. I have seen the shame you tried to hide behind a forced smile at the grocery store, the way you looked away when friends spoke of their vacations and their new acquisitions. That shame is a garment that does not fit you. I am stripping it away and clothing you in the robes of my righteousness. You will no longer walk with a bowed head, fearing the eyes of your neighbors. You will walk with the quiet confidence of someone who has been through the fire and come out smelling not of smoke, but of the incense of the altar. I am touching the very paperwork that has haunted your dreams. I am moving the pens of clerks and the decisions of directors. I am the God of the sudden shift, the unexpected favor, the error that works in your benefit, and the heart that softens when it should have hardened. But more than the external change, I am doing a work in the secret chambers of your soul. I am healing the poverty mindset that told you that you were never enough, that you would always be behind, that you were destined for the crumbs. I am feeding you from the Master's table now. The scarcity that has defined your family line for generations is being broken. I am the breaker of chains, and the chain of lack is snapping under the pressure of my love. Remember the small garden you used to dream of planting, the one you pushed aside because there was no money for seeds or time for beauty. I want you to start dreaming of it again. The soil of your life is being enriched. The drought is over. The rains that are coming are not the storms of destruction you feared, but the gentle showers of restoration. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, the years of joy you sacrificed to worry, the years of peace you traded for anxiety. They are coming back to you in a harvest of quiet moments and sustained joy. You will find yourself laughing again, a real laugh that bubbles up from the belly, not the hollow sound you used to make to reassure others. I am also working in the hearts of those you love. I know the strain this has put on your marriage, the way words became sharp like glass because the pressure was too high. I am pouring oil into those wounds. I am softening the edges of the conversations that used to end in silence and turned backs. I am teaching you both how to lean on me rather than leaning on the fragility of a bank balance. Your home will be a sanctuary again, a place where the air is still and the spirit is nourished. The children will sense the change. They will see the light returning to your eyes and the steadiness returning to your hands. They will learn from you not how to live in lack, but how to live in the abundance of faith. Don't be afraid when the old echoes of fear try to whisper in your ear. When the phone rings or the mail arrives, and that old knot starts to form in your stomach, take a breath and remember my name. I am the I Am. I am the provider of the manna and the water from the rock. I am the one who fed the 5,000 with a boy's lunch. Do you think your debts are too large for the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills? Do you think your situation is too complex for the creator of the galaxies? I am simplifying your life. I am clearing the clutter of your mind. I am giving you the wisdom to manage the overflow that is coming, for I will not give you more than your character can carry. I am building the character of a steward in you, one who knows that every good thing comes from above, and that there is always enough to share. Stay here with me in this peace. Let it soak into your bones. Let it settle the trembling of your nerves. This is not a temporary reprieve. It is a permanent change of state. You are moving from the kingdom of debt into the kingdom of grace. The journey isn't finished, but the outcome is secured. We are walking together, step by step, through the meadow that follows the valley. The shadows are behind us, and the sun is high. Can you see the colors of the wildflowers? Can you hear the song of the birds that neither sow nor reap, yet are fed by my hand? You are much more valuable than they. Trust the process of the unfolding. Trust the hand that holds the universe and your heart with equal tenderness. We are moving toward a place of such profound rest that you will look back on this time and see it not as a season of loss, but as the season where you truly found your life, because you finally let go of the illusion of control and fell into my arms. Look around your room now at the familiar shapes of your life that have become obscured by the fog of worry. The stack of envelopes on the corner of the desk, the ones you have avoided touching as if they were scorching to the hand, are merely paper. They hold ink and numbers, but they do not hold your destiny. As you sit here with me, I want you to feel the weight of your body against the chair, the solid reality of the floor beneath your feet. You have been living in a future of what-ifs and a past of if-onlys, but I am here in the is. I am the breath in your lungs right now, the steady beat of a heart that I fashioned with my own intentions. Notice how, even in this moment of supposed scarcity, your lungs do not struggle for air. The atmosphere is thick with the oxygen you need, gifted to you without a bill or a balance due. This is the first lesson of the kingdom. The most vital things are already paid for by my love. I see the way your mind races when the phone rings, that sudden jolt of adrenaline that tastes like copper in your mouth. You have conditioned your nervous system to respond to a ringtone as if it were a predator's growl. But come back to me. Close your eyes and imagine my hand resting gently on your shoulder, silencing the static. We are going to recalibrate your internal compass. You have defined yourself by what you owe, but I define you by what you are. You are a vessel of light currently being refined in a kiln of pressure. The heat is not meant to consume you. It is meant to burn away the dross of your reliance on the visible world. You thought security was found in a healthy balance, but I am showing you that true security is found in an unbreakable connection. Think of the garden outside, or perhaps the small plant on your windowsill. It does not fret over the cost of the sunlight or the price of the rain. It simply opens its leaves and receives. You, too, must learn the art of holy receiving. For years, you carried the pride of the provider, the illusion that your own cleverness and strength were the sole source of your sustenance. That burden was always too heavy for you. This debt, as crushing as it feels, is the gravity that is finally pulling you down to the ground of humility where I can actually reach you. On this ground, we can plant something new. We are planting seeds of peace that do not depend on the stock market or the kindness of creditors. I want to speak to the shame that hides in the marrow of your bones. You feel that you have failed those you love, that your name is now synonymous with lack. But I tell you, your name is written on my palms, and it is a name of honor. Do not let the ledger of man dictate the value of a soul that I bought with everything I had. The world measures a person by their assets, but I measure a person by their capacity to trust when the lights go out. You are becoming wealthy in ways that the world cannot comprehend. You are gaining a quietness of spirit that will eventually become a sanctuary for others who are drowning. One day, someone will come to you with the same trembling in their voice that you have now, and you will be able to look them in the eyes and say, I have been where you are, and I found a spring of water in the middle of the desert. When you look at the blue ceramic mug in your hand, or the way the shadows of the trees stretch across the floor as the sun dips lower, Realize that these moments are your true currency. Every moment of presence is a payment toward the debt of fear you have been carrying. You have been paying interest on worries that haven't even happened yet. Stop. Refuse to pay that interest. I am your advocate in the highest court. I am the one who settles the accounts that matter. When the collectors call, hear my voice behind theirs, reminding you that your life is hidden with me. You can speak to them with kindness, not because you have the money they seek, but because they have no power over your peace. You are no longer a slave to the numbers. You are a child of the King who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the gold in every vein of the earth. Let us walk into the kitchen together. Notice the grain of the wood on the table, the small scratches and dings that tell the story of meals shared and lives lived. These are the marks of reality, and they are beautiful. Even if the table were empty, I would still be there, and the feast of my presence would be enough. I am teaching you the secret of the manna, just enough for today. You want the security of a storehouse, but I am giving you the intimacy of a daily bread. This forces you to look at me every morning, to seek my face before you seek the mailbox. And in that seeking, you are finding a treasure that no bank can repossess. The peace that is settling over you now is not a trick of the mind. It is the actual atmosphere of my presence. It is the shalom that survives the storm. Rest in this. Let the tension in your jaw dissolve. Let the knot in your stomach untie itself. You are not alone in this house, and you are certainly not alone in this struggle. We are weaving a tapestry out of these broken threads, and when we are finished, you will see that the dark colors were just as necessary as the bright ones to show the full beauty of the design. We are not done yet. We are just beginning to see the first hints of the pattern emerging through the chaos.